Audio Jungle.
Wow, it's another beautiful day and another wonderful morning. You are welcome to Bystander at Newsstand, and we have with me the Punch newspaper. Deep-rooted dishonesty in Nigeria warranted border closure. Buhari. Court upholds IG's power to recruit 10,000 constable. FGO's pensioners 400 billion naira, says Senate. Wow, that's a huge amount of money. Now, reform now to stop further slide into extreme poverty. Bank says 30 million more Nigerians may be poor in 2030. Nigeria to be home of 25% of world's extremely poor people. Wow, that is World Bank to the federal government of Nigeria. Court orders for feature of Saraki houses to FG. As you can see, we have this wonderful and interesting topic on the Purge headlines, and I am sure and ready that our reviewers are ready to give us their opinions and their views upon this topic. Hi, I'm Babalola Timothy. Stay tuned, I will be right back.
Audio Jungle.
It says deep-rooted dishonesty in Nigeria warranted border closure. That was what our president, that was what he said, that it was because of dishonesty that caused the closure of border closure. In your view, will you support what he said?
I'm not in total support of what the president said, because the border closure is political. We know that. And they are yet to tell us the actual reason of closing the border. If they are telling us that it's because of the deep-rooted dishonesty. Dishonesty has been in Nigeria over time. It has been in so many Nigerian institutions. It has eaten fabrics in the Nigerian institution as it is. So it is not, you could not be secluded alone to border of a thing. So trying to say that the border closure is as a result of the, I think that is a fallacy. And they really have to address that. Let them come up and tell us the real reason why they are closing borders. The reason is beyond what they are saying is dishonesty. Nigerian government has been in such a dishonest state for a very long time. Our politicians have been hiding under the umbrella or canopy of fighting corruption, fighting dishonesty, fighting this transparency. This is a problem. It's a menace. And I don't think what government is telling us that this and that is the problem. It's not the problem. Let them come up and tell us the real reason why they are closing border. So you understand. So that is not the problem. I don't think that is the dishonesty is the problem. Every Nigerian politician is dishonest. They are not honest, because if they are honest and transparent, they should be able to enact the policies, their promises to the people. Look at what the World Bank is saying, that if they don't reform the economy now, if they don't reform our structure Nigeria now, that in 2030, 30 million Nigerians will go in abject poverty. And that is the real forecast. The economy is slumming.
So you are in support of what the World Bank says?
Exactly. We are seeing it. Look at the economy. Look at businesses closing down. Workers are being sacked. More people are going into Okada and Keke Marua riding. Look at the percentage of people who could not even feed their children. School fees is rising. No healthcare facility. No good road transport system. No housing system. This is against what we used to have in the past. Government used to provide federal housing estates, but today it is not so. The roads are not motorable. Infrastructure is down. Electricity is down. Health sector is down. The academic sector is down. So what are we saying? The economy is going down. So I believe what the World Bank is saying. So you understand? I believe what they are saying. So, and if they don't address that now, it's going to be a very huge problem.
Okay, how do you think the reformation, what are the possible things that needs to be put in place for this reformation to be effective?
One, They need to reform the political system. We have multi-political parties. It's not helping us. Though those political parties try to cater for so many interests, but it is not so. Multi-party is working against Nigeria. Because what we now, even with the multi-parties, it makes us to spend more money. So you understand? Now, let them narrow it down. That is number one. Reformation in the political aspect of then the economy. One now, I'm talking about, let me say, political appointment. In this dispensation that we are now, we have seen that the appointment of people into the civil service is lopsided. What we have is the northerners in everywhere. So where is the checks and balance? Where is the quota system? So where is the hope for the new graduate coming up to pick up appointment? Look at every government official. You don't know when they are recruiting. Young graduates, Nigerians are graduating students every year, but none of them is getting job. There is no vacancy. Where do you put them? They end up becoming nuisance to the society. So there are a lot of reform, economic reform, political reform, social reform. They have responsibility to put infrastructure in place. Look at as big as Nigeria, we have power generating plants that can generate electricity for us, but because of political reasons, there is no. Look at Cotonou, look at Ghana, uninterrupted power supply. But we are in Nigeria, without it, you can't do business. Companies are folding up as a result of this power failure. Infrastructure is done, no healthcare system. Go to the general hospital today. You got to run from here to pillar to post to get one thing or the other. You will be given on attention. So you understand? Look at the schools today, the academic. If you don't attend a private university, you are down. Going to public institution, 8 years you are not graduated. Teachers are complaining, nurses are complaining, doctors are moving away from the country. So there are a lot to reform, my brother. There's a lot. There's a lot. They know what to do. Let them keep their campaign promises alive. Let them help work for the people, not for themselves. They are hiding under this canopy of fighting corruption, but they are the ones that will be corrupt. But it will get to an extent where there will be a lose. And what is happening in Hong Kong now will take shape, will take place. So let them, the World Bank has advised them on what to do. Let them reform it, because this is the least we expected from this government, President Buhari. This is the least we expected. We expected him as a man who was disciplined then, not now. He was disciplined then. But today now is on the contrary. What we are seeing is outrightly out of what we saw when he was in the military.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Talk, it's not telling the truth. Border closure in Nigeria affected Nigerians, negatively. It affected our jobs, it affected our businesses. It's affected us in various ramifications. If you look at essential commodities, I don't mean farm products. Even farm products in Nigeria, it affected us from that, sector. Because farm produce here, most of the farm produce like tomatoes, onions, pepper, and even vegetable are ferried from Nigeria to the Republic of Benin, Ghana, Togo, even up to Senegal and Gambia. I have a Gambian friend now. His name is Betty Becenti Gomez. We were just together last week at Okera. He came on a teaching assignment in Nigeria here. He told me that most of the agricultural products they use over there in Gambia, banju, tomato, onions, vegetables, egusi, obono. The vendors are the Igbos. Yeah. Ingredients. He said a whole street, they are like a community there selling egusi, obono, that they cherish our agricultural produce. So we found out that agriculturally we are missing out, because they benefit, our neighbors, they benefit from us. All these are bono, egusi, vegetable, tomatoes, onions. They thrive well on our soils. You understand? In southern Nigeria, in northern Nigeria, tomato, onions, obono, egusi, melon thrive well on the land of the south. in Nigeria here. So we find out that I'm trying to say that agriculturally, not like all this tokumbo, clothing and other things where it's part of the mainstay of the economy. No, agriculturally we are missing out. We are missing it. So anytime Buhari make a statement, don't judge him much because our president is not a knowledgeable man. He's not well knowledged. No, I'm telling you the truth. If a passenger says something, you will find wisdom there. If you listen well, you can read out good meaning from his statements. But not Buhari. A man who just came to the political mainstream with hidden agenda. An agendum of killing Nigerians, agendum of planning to cede our land to Fulanis, an agendum of, Islamizing Nigeria. I think you understand. He introduced banditry, he introduced Boko Haram, he introduced herdsmen, killing and tormenting Nigerians. These are his agenda. I think you understand me. So anytime he make a statement like this, I don't go deep studying it because I know that a man that doesn't have something, I'm sorry, upstairs, is the one talking. Come up with another topic.
Okay, reform now to stop further slide into extreme poverty. This is World Bank to Federal Government of Nigeria. Bank says 30 million more Nigerians may be poor in 2030. Nigeria to be home of 25% of world extreme poor people. Now,
The leading country in poverty index is India. Before you talk about Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, before you talk about in Africa, Mozambique, Somalia, Burundi, and so on. But let me tell you today, Mozambique has toppled Nigeria. I mean, economy-wise, Burundi has toppled Nigeria. Mauritius, a small island, Indian Ocean island. She understand? In the axis of Ethiopia, but it's right in the middle of Indian Ocean. It's an island. Mauritius is the fastest Africa growing economy, faster than Angola. Mauritius, you could remember when we played, I think, Nation Cup with them, qualifier. Small, tiny, just like speck. If you compare the landmarks to Nigerian landmarks, they are just like speck. They are the fastest growing economy in Africa. So I'm just trying to tell you the index of poverty in the world. Nigeria has toppled India. India was leading, but as of 2018, after recession, 2016-17 recession, 2018, Nigeria toppled India. Nigeria is where you have the most, numerous people that were or are poverty-stricken. We are the country that harbors most, let me say, the poorest people in the world. We've toppled India with the percentage increasing. The way I'm seeing it, by the year 2021, Nigeria will have over 80-something million poor people who are living below $1.96. That's almost, let's say, $2. $2 is just 720 naira. That one is just hard hustling. Because I'm sure that there are some people who cannot afford $1 in a day in Nigeria. Many Nigerians. If you don't work hard on your own, if you don't have your certificates, if you are not business oriented, or you don't have anywhere, maybe in the factory where you are doing manual job, you'll be earning less than $1 a day in Nigeria. So let me tell you, as I'm talking to you now, more than 76 million Nigerians are poverty-stricken, are poor, living under poverty. It's all about APC government. A government that has denied everything they promised us on their written manifestos before they come to power. They have manifestos. We will pay 5,000 bursary to students. Mudu. Mudu is just like those small eco pent cup. Will be sold less than 50 naira. These are promises he made over there in the north. Then the students in the northern states, they believe that if Buhari win, if he won, he will pay that bursary 5,000. Where, who in the southern Nigeria, which students in the northern Nigeria, northeast or northwest or mid belt, receive 5,000 since 2015 till date. Which was why all efforts were made to see that this man, was voted out. But still, all said and done, in the long run, the umpire called INEC, bring him back to office, and he's still Nigerian president today. Seeing us die in poverty, seeing poor children from poor families, poor homes, hawking goods, hawking granite, pawpaw, all manner of fruits along the streets of Lagos, on the streets of Abuja, Suleja, Kwale. Everywhere in the north, we have almajiris. People who wake up early in the morning, they wake up early in the morning. Their mom will give them plates. They will streamline on the streets of northern states, begging, asking people for money.
Okay. Do you think that this call by the World Bank will make them move forward to see that they reform the Nigerian economy?
No, somebody that could not listen to court rules, court order, court of competent jurisdiction, giving order to release some of the culpable politicians, to give them their freedom, just on bail, not final discharge, on bail. He could not. How could he listen to warnings from World Bank? Is he an economist? Is Buhari a banker? He doesn't know the implication of what the World Bank is saying. And even he has a listening ear, he would have taken whatever they tell him to do. No, he doesn't give listening ear to them. No. If he would have asked me, do you think the finance minister, do you think the CBN governor, but they are all under executive. Executive dictates to them what they do. His economic team, do you think they will work? Buhari will allow them to work? No. They are all rubber stamped under the executive. Look at the House. The House is the one that should even, swing into action about World Bank warning. But the House is rubber stamp House. Under Wadumabi, is that his name? Waduma and Gwajamila. Yeah. So that's it.
Thank you very much.
They can never ever heed to advice from the world largest finance house, World Bank. Federal government of Nigeria can never listen to them. Because all they do here is they run tyrannical governments. They run detect. Let me call it dictatocracy. Maybe it's my English. I don't know if another person knows about it. They run kleptocracy. They run militocracy. They run nepotocracy. They say whatever they like. They carry out whatever policy that seems right to them. They don't mind innocent Nigerians. Ask me why. Because we, the entire Nigerians, did not vote them. They forced themselves back to office.
It's neither here nor there. To an extent, it's correct, but it has its own shortcomings. It's correct to the extent that, from what I can understand, after government have come out to explain the way and manner our neighbors, when I mean neighbors, the neighboring countries, have been sabotaging the economic progress of Nigeria. The border closure is for the well-being of the country and the economy. Because I'm made to understand that going back ECOWAS treaty, that if there is a consignment from another country outside the member countries of ECOWAS community, that if that consignment is destined for Nigeria, going by the ECOWAS treaty, you are not empowered to receive that goods and break the seal. If you receive that goods as a member of ECOWAS community, you are supposed to transport that consignment to Nigeria with the original seal from where it originates. But a situation where you take it to a country like Niger, Cotonou, our neighbors, you break the seal, you repackage it, it run repugnant to the ECOWAS treaty. I think that is the area our government frowns at and is sabotaging the economy. But looking at it the other way around, though government is justified going by their position, but looking at it the other way around, it is not helping the economy to grow. Because I specifically point out the rice, for instance. I don't think we have the capacity to produce our local consumption for now. So shutting the border against importation of rice through land border is like creating artificial scarcity. And the demand and supply is a natural phenomenon that fixes price. So a situation where you shut border against the importation of rice through land border, automatically there will be scarcity and the price is bound to jack up. So the common man that is supposed to benefit from the government, or rather the common man, the government says he wants to protect his interests, is one that being hit harder by this policy. I agree, the policy is raking in billions of naira into government coffer. But how can you protect the interests of the common man that you think their welfare is your primary responsibility? I think government should find a way of cushioning the effect of this harsh policy on the ordinary man. That is my submission.
Okay, thank you for that, sir. And we also have reform now to stop further slide into extreme poverty. That is what Bank to Federal Government of Nigeria. Bank says 30 million more Nigerians may be poor in 2030. Nigeria to be home of 25% of world extremely poor people. So this is an alarm for reformation, because Nigerian is going into poverty gradually and at an inclined rate. So what are the possible ways you think the reformation could be achieved?
I think this issue of reformation has so much been discussed that even the common man knows what needs to be done. Well, if you look at Nigeria as an entity, the constitution arrogates so much power to the federal. I may be justified to say that the Nigerian president is the most powerful president in the world. I'm not saying in the right perspective. What I'm saying is what a Nigerian president would do constitutionally in Nigeria. An American president may not have that power to do it in America. And not comparing nations and saying the power that the constitution arrogates to a Nigerian president to operate as a Nigerian president is too much. That is where the issue of devolution of power comes in. There's so much power that is concentrated at the center. I will ask you a question. What is the business of federal government, for instance, in healthcare? And the constitution gives federal government so much leverage, so much right over healthcare. These are supposed to be primary responsibility of even the local governments. But if you bundle that constitution and give the local government, state government power to operate and own it, it will come down to the grassroots and it will benefit people the more. That is an instance. Look at the issue of power. It's a critical sector in the economy. I am of the view that federal government should retain regulation. Of course, they have that primary responsibility to regulate any sector. But being a major player, I don't think it's wise. Well, if you look at the transmission company of Nigeria, it's owned by federal government. Even the discos that have been privatized, federal government still retains 40% equity in each and every of those distribution companies. I've listened to people discuss about the inefficiency and shortcomings of the value chain of electricity distribution. You find out that the distribution companies lack capacity. it will be surprising to note that we have the capacity to generate as much as 7,000 megawatts of electricity. But from what I even learned, that the discos are even technically, diplomatically rejecting the load that is being sent to them through from the national grid, because they do not have the capacity to distribute them. And when it comes to capacity, the discos may not have the competence or wherewithal to source for fund to build those infrastructure that will make them to be able to absorb that power. So that is why, if the federal government is still retaining 40% equity, and there is no guarantee that government may not revoke the contract that gives them that job, they may not be willing to go out to source of fund to inject into those companies to build that capacity to enhance them, to be able to absorb those power that is being generated. So I think there should be confidence building. And federal government should hands up completely and give them leverage to operate those discos. By so doing, they will not have confidence that they are the sole owner. They can go out to source of fund, not forgetting that they are being regulated. There's another instance. This issue of regulation, again, I think NEC has capped what you can collect from consumers. And this is a sector that has been partially deregulated. You are saying somebody should bring money to inject into the system. You are now regulating how much that person will collect from his customers. So you see that in a way, even as if we want to speak like Nigerians, we would prefer to pay less. But we want the system to be efficient. Allow the discos to generate or to build whatever they feel is appropriate for them to generate enough fund to build capacity. That's another angle. There are so many areas that the system needs to be unbundled. I will briefly dive into the area of security. You and I know that security in Nigeria is a thing of serious concern. Even the police, the army, DSS, Navy, name it, that are supposed to be the defender of the sovereignty integrity of the country, are at times being vulnerable in the hands of bandits, kidnappers, terrorists, name it. What does that tell you? That there is a failure somewhere. And the question is, how do you resolve it?
What I'm trying to say is simple. I said, is he talking about the agency, the custom themselves, or the citizen themselves? He's talking about the agency. Because because of the agency is corrupt, we not affect the citizen. Understand? And you can understand where we are heading to. Okay, if it's the citizen, is it for everybody? Is it for some few people? If there are some people that account the dishonesty, that cannot affect every citizen. And I know this is festive period. You're selling a lot at 20,000 per bag. It shouldn't affect everybody. If there's some dishonesty among the agency or some few citizens that are importing and exporting products, there should be a lot to be able to condone them. I let affect everybody. Understand? Those are just mere schools. Didn't even water to me. Oh no. Though I read the paper, I would know what it means. But if it's what you're talking about, they are mere schools. The suffering is too much. You hardly can hear. Yesterday I bought this paint of fries for 3,000 naira. I don't buy for 1,500. I'm a family man. Understand? So all those issues, that's insincerity. Understand? If you're causing matter because of some few people, so that's insincerity. Understand? All Nigeria are not corrupt. We are not unsincere. I'm not importing anything. If I'm not importing something and it's affecting me, what's my gain? Understand? There should be a better measure to condone people that are doing all these things. There should be a better measure. And I'm going to affect everybody. Understand? So that's just my take on that place, so that I won't consume more time on that issue.
Now, reform now to stop further slide into extreme poverty. Bank says 30 million more Nigerians may be poor in 2030. Nigerians to become home of 25% of world's extremely poor people. We see that reformation is needed to bring about the decrement of poverty rate in Nigeria? Because you could see that 30 million more Nigerians may be poor in 2030. Few years to come now, this is a saying that most Nigerians now will be poor. Looking at the economy at its present state and the need for reformation, what are your views and how do you think this reformation can be achieved?
What are the forms to stop poverty? I don't see that there is no, to me there is no reform on ground. Understand? The country itself is on a very is on a zero level. What are you reforming? Understand? In a country where you have only one president that is sincere, only the president is sincere, and every other is corrupt. What are you reforming? You are not to reform. Understand? The issue on is not the president's fault. Understand? Even the people you call poor people, they are the problem. Understand? The poor man self is the problem. The poor man self don't want reform.
How?
Eh? Many occasions, when the government bring out a strategy or a plan, they rubbish it. They tell you it's a northern strategy. It's kind of the plot.
Can you give us examples?
Okay. When the president came in, this man, you saw the way the man was fighting poverty, was fighting corruption. We talk about that. You saw when he invaded the head of some judges and bring the door. But Nigeria they brought the man down. They tell you that even the corrupt man, the money he's bringing is touching the life of people. Look at that one. They tell you that Nigeria will tell that when a man steals money and he give people, he changed his life. Honestly, we weaken the president, we can weaken the government. And the government, before you know, the president is now slowing down. Before you know it's like there's nothing like corruption again.
Wait, fighting corruption and reformation, are they the same thing?
In front of it, when you fight corruption, you are fighting poverty. Understand? When the money is in the few hand of people, other people become poor. Understand? When you fight corruption, you are fighting poverty.
Okay, our president have been fighting for corruption for some years now, and looking at the rate in which he have been able to receive the looted fund, to recover the looted fund rather, I think there should be a decrement in poverty rate. But do you see an increment? Do you see a decrement rather? You see, government program, or I don't know what to put it. We not just showcase it one day. Understand? It's a gradual process. When government are doing things, it's a gradual process. Understand? Body program may not show in 8 years. It may be after it's gone. Understand? But these poor people, they will like quick fix. Quick fix will not work. Quick fix don't work in Nigeria. Understand? Quick fix everywhere is nothing is working. Okay, look, for example now, I'm going to work at Papa. And I said, okay, here. To Papa, I'm going to work at Papa. I work about 4:30. I get to work, they say you go back, I'm late. I have to come back again. Is that Buhari fault? They break down all the road at Papa. You are doing Papa. All the road is down. Not even alternative road. And they are doing the road for how many years? Look at the contract. They are not doing night shifting. I remember those days when I was small. When I do the road, they are on night duty. But they're not going to be for long. They're not doing it on the road. Everywhere condemn people. Okay. Let us assume that I deliberately go to work late. Okay, I left work around 8 o'clock. See when I'm coming back here. It's very bad. So with the poor man, we are continuing all this. People come here to tell you that Buhari is bad, Buhari is this. The man is too wicked, he's too stingy, money is not flowing. Understand? Recently, what they call it? Magu, the chairman of the EFCC, do you know what he said? He said there's some model of all this internal fraudster. They form an organization. They begin to clear the government that their children go into foster because their parents died early. Is that an excuse to become internet fraudster? Imagine. Understand? Even I have a friend, a very good friend. He was telling me that his mother told him that he should go and learn Yahoo. That he will back him very well. He knows where to. She's going to back him very well.
Spiritually, that he's from Ogun State, they will back him very well. That he just go and learn it. If come to my house, he said, just go and learn it. When he's not to learn it, just come. That you back him very well. They will make a lot of money. Understand? And so how will poverty live? When people even plan to go into crime the more. Understand? Nobody can live. Understand? So we don't need to change anything. We need to change our mentality. We need to change our mentality. It's a country where everybody want to steal. Understand? Everybody want to loot. Even the poor want to loot. If I'm in charge of a small store, I want to bring down the store. This man is just, he want to bring. Everybody just want to steal. Everybody want to steal. How will that country be good? We are all extremely corrupt. Understand? We are fighting for survival by any means. Everybody by any means. There's no other country will grow. There's no other country will grow. Understand? If you are staying in one room, your friend is staying 2-bedroom flat. He will be oppressing you. You too want to go to 2-bedroom flat because that is not life. That is not richness. Understand? Understand? Eh? Yeah. You have somebody that's earning 70,000. He tell you, I have a friend that's earning 70,000 naira. He tell me he's earning 200,000 naira. The day I saw his pay slip, he's earning 70,000 naira. He tell me he's earning 200,000 naira. To how we intimidate me. I understand. You can have that kind of life. But thank God I'm a Christian. Those kind of life, you don't embarrass me. You don't push me around.
Audio Jungle.
We've gone through several people's opinions and view. We have been able to see what they stand for and how they have strongly opposed or support every of the motion that has been posed before them. This is where we are going to draw down the curtain on bystander at newsstand. Join us for interesting updates in our various weekdays. I am Babalola Timothy. Have a nice day.